everyone, my name is Karla and you have reached my FlossTube channel, KarlaBeingCrafty. This is my 27th FlossTube episode. It is Sunday, January 5th, so it is the first FlossTube of 2020. Welcome everybody, Happy New Year. I hope you had a really great New Year's week. It feels like it's been a really long time since I did a video, but it's only been a week. It's just that this past week has been, you know, so odd with New Year's. This is a channel where I talk about mostly cross stitch, but also other crafts that I am working on or have worked on in the past, and a little bit of life thrown in. Welcome to everyone who is new. I did have a few, well, not more than a few. I had a little bump in subscribership over the last week or so. So welcome to any of you who have just found me. Those of you who have been with me for a while, thank you for coming back week after week. It means so much to me, and I am glad that we are able to spend these Sundays together. So as I said, it is the first week of January. Welcome 2020. Happy New Year to everybody. I hope you had a happy New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, however you chose to spend it. I actually got an extra day off this week, which was really nice. My boss decided on Tuesday, right around noon, as we were, you know, packing up to go early for New Year's Eve, that as long as we were able to get all the numbers on Friday that we needed to get for our end of the year consolidated statements that we put together, that we could have Thursday off too. So that was really great to have two days, and basically I spent them stitching. I went out to dinner on Wednesday night with some really good friends. One of my friends, I've mentioned her before, she's working in, she moved to New York, and I think she's going to NYU to go to graduate school, which was wonderful for her, but of course I've missed her. But she was back, and so she and her mom, who is one of my best friends, all went out to dinner. So that was really nice on Wednesday. But then Thursday, I just hibernated all day with my kitty, and I stitched. And that's actually one of my favorite things to do. So back to work Friday, and then I had the weekend. And I spent yesterday afternoon with my brother and his family, as I am starting to do on Saturdays, which is great. And had a really nice day. So here we are, Sunday, and tomorrow I feel like the world kind of gets back to normal. You know, all of this holiday weirdness and weird half weeks and everything, that's gonna be done. We're gonna get back to a regular routine, which is less exciting maybe than having all the holiday stuff, but it's actually kind of good. And I feel like I do better mentally when we have a regular routine. That's why I like doing all my FlossTube videos on Sunday mornings, and it makes my Sunday a good start to my Sunday. So after that little rambly intro, let's get started and do all the stuff that you guys are interested in seeing. So I did have a finish that I said I was going to finish it before the end of the year, and I did after I did my video last Sunday. This is what I worked on. I finished my Lion of Judah, which I started on my birthday, which is August 15th, and then I just worked on it sporadically. I know I'm getting a really awful glare. But he's done, and he's in a frame, and he's matted, and he's really, really cute and sparkly, and I love him. This mane, this couched mane was, let's just say, not super fun to do. Couching, I have found, is not my favorite thing. It wasn't difficult. It just was kind of a pain. And I got frustrated. Well, this could possibly be how it was originally done, but I couched it, and I still felt like I had spots that were thin. So I just started making like little short straight stitches with the gold, the metallic thread, and kind of did them so that they kind of got hidden underneath the couch stitches, so they kind of blended in underneath, and that filled it in nicely. And I think it looks really great. I'm just really happy how it turned out. This, for those of you who weren't around earlier in my episodes, this was a kit that I found on eBay for $12, and that was including shipping. And it came with all of the threads. So it came with all these silk threads and metallic threads. It was all Kreinik stuff. So it was the Kreinik silk, and then Kreinik Belger silver thread, and the metallic green thread, and the the gold bullion type thread. And then right here, there's this thing that they actually call bullion, and it looks like a little spring. And you cut it up and use that as like this little textured thing. Anyway, all of those flosses and everything together are way more than what I paid for the kit. So it was a very, an older kit, but I just felt like it was such a great deal. And I'm really happy with this little guy. So he turned out really pretty. So that was my big finish for the end of 2019. And then Tuesday night, I will admit I kind of cheated a little bit. My New Year, New Start Hade, that I said I was going to like put the first stitch in at midnight. I didn't. I started it earlier in the evening, and I worked on it on New Year's Eve. I still think it's a New Year, New Start. It's my new start for 2020. But I did start it New Year's Eve. But to me, that's kind of like the new year already, because it's New Year's Eve and you're all ready for it. And it was New Year's Eve. It was 2020 on the other side of the world. So for Nicole, who I was doing the start with, see, she said she was gonna like have 2 days to stitch, because she was gonna stitch on the second, and it would be my first. But I started on her first, so it works out. Anyway, so this is the Village Bookstore. So that is my Hade that I started. This is actually going to fit into several Sal tags on Instagram, so you can see progress on this going forward for the next, 120 years. On the hashtag new Hade 2020 Sal. I'm also going to include that in my Love Hade Cats Sal, which I started with an Instagram friend earlier in the year. Because there are cats all over this thing, so I'm going to also post it there. So I was able to, oops, hold on, I've got so much stuff piled up over here, and it's all falling and driving me crazy. Okay, so this is my start. This is 1,250 tenth stitches. I don't know how good my light is today. It seems a little dark on my end, but I guess I won't really know until I view the video back. But as I said, this is 1,250 tenth stitches, which is a nice little start. In the scheme of it, it looks like just a little teeny bit, but this took hours and hours to do. I was having some trouble with this project being comfortable stitching it. Now I have 2 other Hades that are smaller projects that I have used my table stand, I've showed you guys a bunch of times, to work on, and had no problem. This one, I don't know if it's because I have it on a wider frame. I did have it on a square frame, so it was this was the 17 inches. It was 17 by 17. I couldn't work on it at all. So I put it on the shorter height. That helped. But I think it's because it's so long that I can't get my arm around it, because I'm right-handed, so I'm stitching. So I have to stitch like this, right? And it wasn't working. So I ended up having to lift it up really high so I could get my hand underneath this way. And that seemed to work. I actually was able to stitch two-handed, which I've never done before, so that was good. But I was just not super comfortable. So I'm trying a couple different methods to see how I can set this up. The perfect thing would be have like a floor stand where I could clamp it and just hang it in front of me. I don't have, excuse me, I don't have the funds to purchase that. So I'm kind of like trying to use my ingenuity to look at things around the house and see how I can build a stand kind of thing, to make it work and make it just in a really good position for me. I tend to want to stitch things fairly close to me, like kind of right at my chest level like this. So like a lap stand where it's down here, that isn't the way I stitch. I want stuff right here. So I'm working on that. That's going to be work in progress. And when I figure out something that's perfect, I'll let you guys know. But in the meantime, I was able to do this chunk. And as you can see, I put the frame upside down on this one. That's my solution I ended up with for the moment, is that I have it actually upside down. So I'm like putting the frame in something so it can hang. And we'll see if that works. I don't know. Work in progress, but you know what? I have however many years this is going to take to do. So, you know, it's okay if I take a little bit of time to figure out how to stitch on that comfortably. It's just a little bit bigger and more unwieldy. I kind of was having the same problem with my long dog sampler, which I also have on like kind of a wide and then short frame, but that one I can stitch holding it. It doesn't have to be on like a table stand or anything like that. Excuse me. Yeah, that one I can hold, but with a Hade, it's just too many changes of threads, and with the parking and everything, that it's just a different animal. So I am working on that, and we'll eventually get there to where I'm 100% comfortable with it. I thought I would show you the thread setup because I don't think I ever did. I know I was talking about doing like an extra video on setting up the Hade and everything like that, and I actually did film one. And I did it at night. I did it on Monday night after I got home from work, and it was just really dark. And because I don't have good lighting in my apartment, I film on Sunday mornings, and I have my window right here so I can at least get some natural light along with the overhead light, and that's how I get, you know, a semi-decent light on my videos. But if I try and film at night, it's just too dark. Maybe eventually I'll be able to invest in a ring light or something, but for right now, daylight is the best. So I did film that video, and I didn't want to end the year on a not great note, because I feel like my whip parade and my last video were really enjoyable to watch, and I just didn't want to bring that down, to be quite honest. So I don't think I ever showed you the full kit up of my flosses for my Hade. So this is what I did. I used these like thread cards or drop cards or whatever. I did only use one row because I found in the last one where I used these and used both sides that the threads didn't stay as tangle free as I would like. I mean, they didn't get tangled, but it was just harder to deal with. This, working on it was very easy. I can kind of like flip through to find my symbol. I cut out the page from the pattern that had the color and the symbol, and then I just wrote in the number right next to it. So while I'm working, the number doesn't matter, right? I'm just looking for a symbol to get the thread that I need. The number comes into play once I use up the thread in a particular drop and I need to replace it with my master stash. So that's why I wanted both the number and the symbol. And then there's one Kreinik that's called for, and I just have that. I don't have anything hanging there because I just have the bag attached with the Kreinik spool. So this stays really nice. It's very easy to go through the pages, if you will, or the cards, just to find whatever symbol I'm looking for. And when I'm done working, I just take the threads, I wrap them like that so that they don't tangle, and they fit very nicely in this size bag to stay clean and untangled. And they're not going to really move around in there because it's tight enough that they're just going to stay. So that is how I have my thread set up for my Hade, and that system works really, really well for me. I don't like well, I've never bombinated, but I'm not gonna. That's just not what I want to do. I have all of my DMC in 2 boxes. They're separated. They're in not alphabetical order. They're in numerical order, and easy to find. And I have little cards separating them. You know, 100 to 200, 200, 300, etc. And that works out really well. So it's going to be very easy just to replace threads as I use them. Okay, so that was my first New Year New Start. And then I had another New Start that I did over the holiday. And this is the one that I'm doing as part of the Stitching with the Sisterly Sal. So they're doing it. That's Cheryl and Colleen. And then I believe that Erin, the Tuna Martini Stitcher, is participating in that for sure. And Michelle Bendy Stitchy. So those 4 people kind of are hosting it. And then everybody else who's jumping on the bandwagon. And that is to work on the Suffrage Act. This is by Little House Needleworks. And this is a great pattern for 2020. We've got the 100th anniversary of the Suffrage Act, the amendment to give women the right to vote. This, as I'm sure everybody's aware, is a election year, and regardless of your politics, it's an important election year, and it's important that we all get out and make our opinions and our feelings known. So this is being stitched in honor of that, and kind of the idea was to start it in January and then finish it before Election Day in November, which I don't think I'm going to have any trouble doing because it seems to be going really fast for me. Now, I am being one of those rebels, as the suffragettes were, I guess, and I have decided to stitch this not on the tan, beige, normal linen that it is model stitched on and that pretty much everybody seems to be stitching it on. But those of you who have been watching me for a while know that I am a big color fabric proponent. So I have this very pretty piece of Under the Sea fabrics, and this is in Mermaid Sea. Excuse me, I'm having those morning snifflies. Mermaid Sea, which is a 2-tone blue, and I have, I'm not using the called for flosses, but I'm using similar colors. I just, picked from my stash, and so I have Needle Necessities, and I'm telling you, I'm dropping everything here. Needle Necessities and Gentle Art Sampler threads, mostly. And they are pretty much the colors that are called for, although they're not the flosses that are called for, if that makes sense. But I added this Needle Necessities variegated. This is number 1091. And so I used that for the stars because the stars were charted as just the blue, and I wasn't sure that they would show up very well. So I did those in that variegated. And then this line, and then it also comes out from here. That was the blue also, so I used the variegated for that. The blue does show up actually, but it's just where, it depends on where it is. So that's what I've got so far. It actually is moving along really fast. Of course, I haven't gotten to the white dress, which is what's going to take the really long time. But, oops. So that's my start, and I am really liking this, and I think that I'm going to really enjoy the difference with using the colored fabric. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this yet. I have like a pillow that's would be the perfect size, and it's just, actually I think I got it on sale from Kohl's because it was a tiny pillow, and I thought eventually I could use it kind of as a pillow form, and that might end up happening with this one, but I'm not 100% sure yet. So that was my second new start for 2020. And that one is turning out to be really fun to stitch. It feels like super fast, so we'll see if that continues. Okay, so aside from those 2 new starts and Lion and Jitta, which I finished last Sunday, I worked on a couple other projects this week. I'm almost done with my February year of celebrations. I have 2 more of the red outlines here, and then these get filled in with white, and then they get kind of like an arrow that goes in both of them, and then there's another little one right there. So, and then that will be done, and I will move on to March. So I'm really enjoying these little patterns. So now I'm working out what I'm going to do next year, or when I'm done with them, because I'd like to have some more little patterns like that to work on. I worked on Sweet William. Wait, where did I put that? Oh no. I'm probably starting right at it. No, that's not it. Oh, here it is. This is my Riolis Sweet William. And I believe I worked on this Monday night. Got a little bit more done on that. Again, this is done with, it's not cotton floss, it's like an acrylic wool blend. And so it has a little bit of a fuzzier texture, but the colors are super rich. And this is a fun pattern to work on. It's really pretty. I just love the colors in it. So, and that one is a Riolis kit. I do recommend the Riolis kits if you like the patterns. They are fairly inexpensive. They go on sale a lot on 1-2-3 Stitch, and they're nice to work with. And this is my second one. I have another one kind of in the queue. And then for Hanukkah, I got my mom a bunch of little kits. They have obviously ranging difficulties, and so they have some really intense ones, but they also have a bunch of little kits that are meant for beginners or kids or whatever, but they're not, some of the patterns are really cartoony, but some of them are just cute little patterns, and it's great for my mom because everything's already there, so I don't have to try and find flosses for her or whatever. And I thought it would be fun for her to try and work with a different thread, because right now, before this, she's been working with pearl cotton, like a number 8, which is pretty thick actually. So these threads are a lot thinner, but they're also on a 10 count. Now my mom, because of her hand issues, she stitches with a double thread, but she puts the needle in the loop of the thread. So if her fingers can't feel the needle and she drops it, she doesn't lose the needle. And when she first looked at the instructions, it said to use 3 strands, and she was concerned, like, how would she do that? So I told her to try 2, try 4, try 3. She ended up, we did a few stitches with just 2 threads, and it looks fine. It's, you know, maybe not as thick of coverage, but it still looks really pretty, and then she's able to do that. And she was happy with that because even though 4 strands would have been fine, she was concerned with 4 strands that she might run out of floss. So the 2 strands are going to work just fine for her with that. Okay, oh, and then yesterday, as I said, I went over to my brother's, and I brought Black Grace with me. I thought it would be fun to work on this. over there. Again, the nice thing about this for me is that I don't have to bring second set of glasses. I can just use reading glasses like these. I don't have to use the, 4 times magnification glasses, which I do need for stitching, but I don't need it for this. So I actually got all of this blue. I did a big chunk of that. So I think last time you saw it, well, it was probably like maybe a couple rows of blue on this side of the cat. So I was able to finish all of that blue and start this part of the tail. So I got a lot done yesterday. It was fun. We were just sitting there and just, relaxing and just hanging out basically. And so I was able to work on this black rice. And it feels really nice. It's just really soft thread or yarn. And I don't know what kind of yarn it is. Let me see if it says. Acrylic. It's 100% acrylic. But I don't know. I just really like it. It feels really good, and it still uses crossed stitches, even though it's needlepoint. And I just kind of like how it creates that little square effect. And yeah, so I was happy to work on that. And I think that this might be my going over to my brother project for a while. It's not kind of a conducive thing to bring other places that I'm hanging out, just because it's kind of, bulky. But yeah, I was really enjoying stitching on this yesterday, so and I would like to get it done, and I have its companion piece, so I can get this one done and start on the other one. Okay. There we go. Okay. So that was everything I worked on last week, which was actually quite a bit of stuff. And then, so let me show you, I did have a couple purchases come in this week that I am excited about. So I had a small purchase from 123 Stitch, and of the flosses that were needed to complete kitting up the Star Trek pillow that I'm going to be starting this month for my brother. And of course, as long as I was on there and I put these in and it was like under 20 bucks, so I thought, well, I'll just get a small pattern. So I really like the Kit Bixby's. I keep looking at them, but a lot of them, like, I would want to get like the whole set, like the spring, summer, fall, winter, and I didn't want to spend more than one pattern. So I got the one pattern. I got the Home is Wherever Your Cat Is. The Kit Bixby patterns always have these black cats, which I love because, Bagheera, you guys have seen him, my big fat black kitty boy. So, of course, I'm going to like the Kit Bixby patterns because it's just like a bunch of Bagheeras. This one is probably him because that one looks kind of fat. He's sitting over there asleep on my makeup table, still being quiet. Not coming over here and knocking into the tripod. Oh, and then the one thing, so I got these, they're just regular DMCs, but I did get 3 of the Etoile. And I got these because on the Star Trek patterns, there's, like, on the original series, they have the stripes on the sleeves, which are designations, and they all have the communicator buttons and stuff, and I figured that those would be good metallic. But I thought I wanted to try something different and not necessarily use like a Kreinik or something like that. So I thought I'd try the Etoile because they're not charted for any kind of metallic. They're just charted in color. So I got the colors that were called for those elements, but I got it in the Etoile, and I thought that might be kind of a fun twist, and we'll see how that looks. If it doesn't look good, I can pull it out and use metallic, but I thought that would work. So I got that. Then I also ordered, I think I did this on Christmas Day. I decided to just treat myself a little bit, and I ordered these from Amazon. I got 3 Mill Hill kits that I've been wanting all year. So I got the balsamic vinegar and the extra virgin olive oil. So those two eventually, when I stitch them, are going to go over on the cabinet, which you can't see. It's like right, like you guys, I'm really bad at that. Okay, you can see the elephant diamond painting right there. So there's a cabinet right next to it that face, you know, the edge of the cabinet faces out. And I think that's where I want those to go when I start them. And then this is the pomegranates, which I really like. And they kind of, pomegranates are kind of, well, they're symbolic in every religion, I guess, but I don't know. I like pomegranates anyway. And I thought that this might be a good kit to replace Moonstruck in my purse, because I think this one's going to be easier to stitch out in the world because it's light and it's on a brown and not on the black perforated paper, which is harder for me to see, and the stitches are light on the background and everything. So I haven't opened it up. I'm assuming that there's a lot of beading in the seed part, but this is all stitched, so this might actually become my purse project fairly soon. And then the last thing I got, I put in a very small order at Joann's. I got 2 more kits for my mom, and I'll show you, those haven't come yet, but these were like on sale for like $1 something, and I thought that they were kind of cool. They're like little mini hoops. They come with, and this is, I don't understand, they come with like a 14 count Aida. Okay, so I got 2 packages, so I have 4 of these. I thought that they would actually make cute earrings, at least one set. So kind of big, but I wear big earrings all the time. You guys have seen that. They come with these 2 little pieces of 14 count Aida, which seems ridiculous to me to do something teeny tiny like this on 14 count, because you're going to barely get anything in there. I mean, they give you these two patterns, but I would like to do like a little rose or something like that, but I'm thinking that I might get a piece maybe of like a 40 count, or I probably have an even weave in here that's a 32 or 36, and I think I might try and do like a 1/1 something for these, because I think that that might be really cool. So anyway, stay tuned to see what I come up with for those. But yeah, I think that might be kind of cool earrings, you know, to have a little stitched hoop, and we'll see. They might look ridiculous, but they might look really gorgeous. So, okay. And then, oh, the last thing that I got that, you know, I guess could be considered haul. I'm actually kind of excited about this. I have my little notebook that I take all my notes for my videos in, and I've been watching a lot of FlossTube, and there's a lot of people who are very into planners and the bullet planners and the disc what's it called, disc bound planners. I think that they look great, and I've gone and I've looked and I've kind of been tempted, and then I have to let reality set in, because what would happen is I would get them and I'd be excited about it and I would never use them. Because I'm like that, because, you know, I have a project book that I got that I put a bunch of stuff in, and I have not updated it, and I have even my like address book, my Stitchy Friends address book. I haven't put anybody in there. I have them gathered, you know, to put in there, but I haven't done it yet, because it's one of those things that is like really like cool sounding to me, and I just never do it. But I wanted some kind of a book that when I did my stats for the end of 2019, and I wrote down all of my projects and which ones I had finished and all that kind of stuff, I decided that, you know, I wanted to keep that. But it's a little sheet of paper, and I thought, why don't I get some kind of a notebook where I can write all the stats from 2019, and then I can put on the next page for 2020 what whips I've started with, so I can be able to check them off when they're done, and then I can add the whips as I make new starts, so I can have kind of a running list of projects. And really that's more what's important to me, is like what I started and when I finished, and like if I kept it or if it was a gift for somebody or whatever. So I just wanted to get basically just a little notebook, but you know, I can't just go get like a $1 Mead notebook, of course not. So I ended up getting this. It has a liquid glitter cover, which just makes my 12-year-old heart really happy. And it's just a regular notebook inside, journal or whatever. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to put, I will do that today. I'm going to do my 2019 stats in here at the beginning, and then I'm going to go to a 2020 page and put over all of the whips that I have pulled over into 2020. And then I can keep track of like starts and finishes, and maybe have a little bit better dating, because with my 2019 ones, I kind of know like, oh, like some of the things I knew I started in August or whatever. So I know approximate dates when things were started, but not exact, unless I go back and watch all of my videos. I guess that's a record too. But then I'll be able to, you know, keep a little bit better record of when I start and finish things in my glittery cover notebook. Okay, so that was everything that I got, and as I said, I'm kind of on a no-buy for a while because of necessity, and you know, I'm sure I will have bits and bobs that come in as we go along, but not a lot of stuff. So I hope that that's okay with everybody. I know for some people, watching haul is like the best part, because you see all the things that other people are doing. But you know what? I have a lot of stuff, so it's not like I'm not going to be doing new starts. I will be, and as I pull out those new starts, then I will be happy to enable you with those. But I'm probably not going to be getting a lot of new stuff unless they're free patterns, or if anybody wants to send me stitchy gifts. Hey, you know, I'm all for that. But I have plenty of stuff to do without, you know, pulling out the credit card. And so I am excited to kind of make a dent on, you know, I spent that first 6 months of stitching kind of acquiring some haul and acquiring a stack of patterns and acquiring 2 boxes of DMC and some you know, a nice stash of Gentle Arts and Needle Necessities, and that should get me through. If there are any really great buys on eBay for flosses and stuff, then you know, I might be tempted, but I'm gonna try and rein it in. I also got a lot of fabric over the course of the year. That I got a lot of white fabric, and I got the technique to dye it myself, so I'm excited about that. The only thing that I'm not able to do is I haven't gotten any like plain opalescent fabric, like white opalescent, to dye that. So that's something that I would like to try if I can find an inexpensive opalescent fabric in white that's a decent count. I have found 14 count, but I'm kind of more interested in like the higher counts right now. But if I can find some opalescent of like an 18 count or something, then I might buy some of that so that I can try dyeing it. But other than that, then we're gonna see how exciting it can be to stick to stash that I already have. Okay, so plans going forward for like the rest of the month. I'm working on the styles of the projects that I showed you. I also am going to be starting the Star Trek project this month that I got those threads for. And that should be fun. I'm going to be doing Tree of Butterflies. Did I pull it out? This is an Alessandra Adelaide pattern, which I just think is really pretty. And it's only got 6 colors in it, so it's actually kind of a simple pattern, but it's big. I still need to dye something for that. My first attempt of dyeing fabric for this turned out pretty, but not for this project. So I need to dye something for that. But I would like to start that on the 20th of January because that's Tu B'Shvat, and which is the Jewish Israeli Arbor Day, so I'd like to start the tree pattern then. And let's see, oh, I'm going to be working on my antisocial bat project. This is for my stepdaughter Taylor, but I'm also going to be doing it this month in honor of Jules from Moonshine Craft Cast, sorry, Jules, because it's her birthday this month. So, and she has a creepy New Year Sal in honor of her birthday, and I would like to participate in that to say happy birthday to her. And yeah, that's for January. Then in February, I am going to be starting Gathering Honey by the Blue Flower. I'm doing this for, well, my sal is called Be My Own Valentine Sal with the B-E-E. It's kind of a significant pattern for me, and I did explain that back several episodes. I'm sure I'll do it again in February, but I dyed a piece of hardanger that I'm going to be using for this. I think it came out really pretty. I'm going to be doing it with one thread because the last thing I did on hardanger, the one thread worked really well. I've pulled all my threads for this already. I pulled colors. I didn't use what was called for. I pulled colors. I am going to make a change in that I'm going to make her hair purple. And so everything else is similar. I think I changed the color of the dress too to more like a pink that I like. The flowers I think are going to be pretty similar. But I just really love this pattern. I love what it says. I love what it means to me personally. And so anybody that would like to join in on that sal in February, you don't have to use this pattern. Anything that has the theme of bees or personal empowerment or just being content with Valentine's Day as it is for you in your life. Yeah, that's what it is. So that's going to be in February. And then in April, I had Lisa Goetz. I'm not sure if I'm saying her name right. It's Goetz, but she has a channel called Forest City Stitching, and she sent me a really nice email. She saw this when I showed Clementine that I had got last episode, I believe. I got this with some threads, nothing can travel alone kind of thing. So I got this little pattern because it's adorable. She had this pattern as well and wanted to know if I wanted to sell it. So we decided to go ahead and sell it. And when we were trying to pick a date or a month or whatever, I said, when's your birthday? Her birthday's in April. So we're going to do Clementine in honor of her birthday. And it's going to be #ClemSal. So if you would like to join in with that, you can grab this Clementine pattern very easily. It's all over Etsy. I think it's a 1, 2, 3 stitch. And it only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 colors. It's pretty small, but it's really cute. And so we're going to be doing that in April. And I think that's it for now. I'm also still working on my long dog sampler. And so we've got that sal going on. I'll have all the sals listed below. My descriptions will be a little bit different because it's New Year, so I'm going to get rid of all of the old finishes for 2019. And if you want to see them, you can, pop back to the previous video. But I'm going to get rid of those to clean that out and get rid of tutorial information that I had listed and shopping information that I had listed for things that happened last year. If I use stuff again, then I'll add it back on. But for right now, I'm going to clean it down and just have whips listed and all the fun sals that you can participate in and all the people I talk about. So anyway, that is it for this first video of 2020. I almost said 2019 again, but 2020, and hope everybody had a Happy New Year, and let's have a great stitching year, and a great year, happiness, health-wise, family-wise, all the good things. That's what we should all have. So I wish that for you, I wish that for me, and I hope you guys have a great week. In the meantime, please remember to always be content, be kind, and be crafty. My name is Karla. This is my FlossTube channel, KarlaBeingCrafty. Thank you guys for watching, and have a wonderful week. Bye.